Sailor Piece's Ultimate's Beginner Guide Part 2. Today we're going to be talking about damage. I'm going to be reviewing and showcasing some of the best swords in the game in Sailor Piece right now. First of all, thank you for the nice comments in the previous video from the Beginner Guide. Yeah, this is basically like a Part 2. It kind of like dogs on. The last time we were talking about how you get kind of to a specific stage, you know, how to start changing your traits and stuff like that. I went the sword route. I highly suggest sword because True Eisen, actually the F move is actually the strongest in the game right now. It's not as good as the best combat. It's not as good as any fruits in the game. Although I do like Quake for farming, but the fruits in the game, they're not really good. So let's talk about some of the stats that I use. Something that makes you stronger. We're going to talk about Ascension and a little bit more in this video. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the races and also into the traits. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to the Sailor Island, which you can see over here. And in the Sailor Island, we already discussed that there's like a place where you can go. You can see this little hut. You have your merchant in here. You have stat rerolls. People were asking me, how do you get the best race rerolls and clan rerolls and stuff like that? So I personally think if you go into settings, I already told you that as well, in the auto settings, and you're going to start auto farming, it's important that enable auto rejoin is online, and also the enable quest repeat online. Did I just say online? On, and auto quest repeat, turn all of these on. And if you're just going to farm overnight, you will get a lot of race rerolls, especially when you're doing the quests as well. But if you want to do something a little bit more active, keep going to the merchant every 30 minutes, because at one point you will have billions in gold, you will have millions or even 100,000s of gems and diamonds in this game, and you will be able to then buy a lot of race rerolls. As you can see, they're just 100,000. If that's still a lot for you, then you're still very early on in the game, but you will notice the more you play, and once you get into the mid game, which we're going to talk about today, you will see that the race rerolls will actually become cheaper and cheaper. You can also get some rush keys and boss keys. I'm going to be discussing that right now, what they are. So boss keys basically are for the boss island, which we're going to go to in a second. I've already talked about that in a previous video, so make sure to check it out. And there's also rush keys, and you don't really know what rush keys are yet. That's more of an end game concept, but I'm going to quickly explain it to you anyways. Right over here you can see there's like, you know, these guys here, and you can go into the boss rush, which is basically another dungeon that you can do, and basically you're going to fight bosses one after another. But even the easy mode bosses, they're already quite difficult to beat. So once you actually have the end game gear like Celestial and all of that good stuff, Sword Blast and stuff like that, once you've reached max level, that's when boss rush will be good for you. There's a shop in it which sells the sun armor. The sun armor is actually really good. You can get yourself some clan rerolls in here as well. Yeah, if you're really gonna start running that. The good thing about it is though that it actually has upgrades, which I think why it is worth it. Many people forget about it. I haven't even gotten to 100 coins yet because I would have to auto farm this and just farm a lot. But getting damage percentage in here, you can get yourself 25%, so 15, yeah, 25% with those coins as well. Another 25 damage percent in damage and crit rate and crit chance and HP and luck is actually quite significant. It's a lot, so make sure to do that in the end game. I haven't even done it, but the thing is, I'm just lazy. That's the reason why I'm not doing it. Let's go and talk about some traits real quick. If you're in the early game to mid game, you're gonna be looking at a few ones. So I personally liked Malevolent, and I also used, was it Infinity? I think I used Infinity and Malevolent. The good thing about these guys here is that Malevolent actually has really a lot of damage. That's the best one that you can get in the mythical category. It gives you times 1.8 damage. It's almost times 2, which is actually really significant. It's really good. Of course, if you can get any of the secret ones here, you should just go for it. Just keep any of those if you don't have any secrets yet. But if you're gonna go with mythicals with a pity system, I highly suggest going with any of those. But you know, in the beginning it doesn't really matter. If you get legendary, if you get mythical, just take whatever is better. I mean, always take the highest damage. Kind of self-explanatory, you know, don't have to talk much about it. But again, traits really important. Again, you also farm trade crystals by just farming people, just killing people. Again, there's also trade crystals in the merchant right now, as you can see here. You can buy those with gems. By the way, this always cycles, so it doesn't always cost gems. Sometimes the race rerolls cost gems, sometimes the trade rerolls cost gold. Same goes to the keys. It always like kind of like swaps around in like a randomized way, okay? In the next video, I will be talking a little bit more about Conqueror's haki, but I do want to give you a little bit of a trick and tip for you that you can take along the way. So once you actually go for Conqueror's haki, or even some other things, you will have to get hit a few times using your dodges. And I want to show you a little tip and trick that you can use that I've used. So basically what you do is you go to the starter island, okay? You go to the starter island. It's best to do it on a private server so nobody's going to mess with your thieves once you go AFK. But what you're going to do is you're going to go to your stats and you're going to reset your stats and you're just going to max out your defense here, okay? So just let's just, whoops, that's not the right one. Let's go back here. Let's just max out the defense. And what you're going to do, because you don't want to do any damage, okay? You're going to start taking it, I'm still going to, okay. What you're going to do is you're going to go into your inventory, you're going to go to melee, and you're going to choose combat, because of course if you use the true Eisen or any kind of sword, you're going to do too much damage. You're going to use your combat, you're going to start hitting somebody and go into the corner, and then you press H. Oh, damn. Okay, wait, hold on. That was actually a little stupid because I actually already pressed H. So you're going to lure him into the corner on a private server, and you can set this up with Tiny Task, which is like, you know, this is exactly the reason why you should be doing this on a private server. Otherwise, these people, they're going to interfere with them. I'm just going to quickly leave. It's just going to be too annoying. But you kind of get the drift, right? You can actually set up a Tiny Task. There's tutorials online to do that. I don't think you really have to, but it's extremely good. I usually never play on a public server unless I have to farm PvP kills. But other than that, I don't play on a public server. I always play on a private server. I don't even know why I was on a public server. So private servers are free. Make sure to get one. You know, they're free. Once there's a new code out or something, it's always going to be first on private servers. So make sure to do that. It really helps a lot. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the corner here. Of course, they only have a short kind of like span here. So we have to get them into the corner. Press H, and then you're going to do the dodges. And then sadly, I did it without Tiny Task, but you know, I've done it without. I literally just watched a series, and every time these 30 seconds passed, you know, I used H again. Now, you might wonder, why do I have 8 dodges and you might have less? That is because of the level of my haki. You can see your level if you go into the stats, press onto the question mark here, and go all the way down, and you can see there's the observation haki, and if you have it like 30 plus, that's when you can literally use more dodges. And trust me, there's quite a few missions, quite a few quests where you have to use that. So this is really, really important. Okay, enough of that. Let's actually set it all back here, ladies and gents. We're gonna go into the inventory, we're gonna go into the stats, and we're gonna max out sword and melee. By the way, this is really important. Do not ever max out power. That is the fruits that you have here in Sailor Piece. Make sure to not skill that, because that is literally the weakest in the game. I would rank it as following. I would rank it that defense obviously is quite important, but I would always go with sword first, max sword out first, then defense, then melee. Depending on how your playstyle is. If you like combat so much, then of course you can go melee first, defense first, then sword. But if you want to do the highest damage in the game possible, you will go for that. I mean, let me just show you, like, this is insane. I've just oh, okay, so we're gonna use the F move here. That was by mistake. I wanted to do the Z move, but it's fine. We're gonna do the F move. It has a long animation though, but the damage, damn, like, it's actually insane when you use your haki as well. Take a look at the damage. That's like 3 billion. And then if you use C as well, you're gonna do another, oh wait, what? Okay, this one's less now. Why am I doing less damage? Usually I do 1 billion with that. I don't know what I've done different. Oh yeah, no, it's not because of the combat. And I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, it's insane. Sword damage is just absolutely nasty. Now we're gonna go into the boss island, because the boss island is actually quite important, because you can first of all do the sword saber kind of thing that I taught you guys in the previous video. But there's a lot of bosses in here that you want to farm. I mean, Gilgamesh is something in mid-game that you should be really farming quite fast. The reason for that being is, I think you can get Gilgamesh here as well in the boss farm as well. What you basically have to do, there's Gilgamesh. You have to get the Golden King title. You get that by fighting the Gilgamesh boss. You have to get 12, all of these items that you see here, you know, like Throne Remnant, Ancient Shard, Gold Essence, Phantasm Core. You will always get with Gilgamesh. Hold on, let me drink something here. You always get it from the boss. Now, there is a little bit to a twist to that. If you've done a lot of world farming, which you should be by this point already, you can go over here and you will see that you will need an item to actually spawn Gilgamesh. You will actually need like the Divine Grail, and I remember that I farmed the Divine Grail by just beating people. Let me see if I have the Divine Grail somewhere in here. I don't even know if the Divine Grail, I think it was legendary, if I remember it correctly. Let's see, Divine Grail, I have 54. Did I farm it from normal people or did I farm it from bosses? I don't remember. I have no idea, but you can Google it. You can Google it. You will need some Divine Grails to spawn Gilgamesh. But other than that, Google is your friend. Like, there's so many things. It's been such a long time ago when I did Gilgamesh. But the reason for that is, I'm going to show you real quick. We're going to go straight into melee. Gilgamesh is, for me personally, one of the best farming methods because of its range. Look at the V move. Like, we're going to zoom out. Well, it doesn't really do anything. But take a look at, you can almost spam this. And the range of that, you can't necessarily see it right now, but the range of it is insane. It's like almost an entire map. So if you go into the dungeon island and, for example, you want to farm some runes, which you should be doing by now, if you've finished everything from the first video and you're gonna get to the second video, you're gonna be grinding yourself some runes, because these runes eventually are really, really good. So I'm using the Havoc rune right now, and if we go into the stats, take a look at how good the Havoc rune here is. So if we go down here, the Havoc rune is 66% damage and a multiplier of 1.6. That's almost a it's almost a 2.0 times 2 damage. Extremely helpful, extremely powerful. So not even just that, there's like beginner ones as well. You don't need to, like, if you don't get the Havoc one, you can still go for the Wrath one. If you even don't have that, go for the Destruction rune, because the Destruction runes, they're actually quite easy to farm, and all you basically have to do is have a little bit of damage here and there, go into a dungeon, and then just use the V move from Gilgamesh. Trust me, Quake and Gilgamesh are so good for auto farming, just because of its nice and damage. But don't forget though, that Gilgamesh's stats is melee, okay? This is extremely important, melee, okay? Keep that in your mind. No, don't put it into like power or sword or something. You need melee to do damage with Gilgamesh. And once you do that, you can literally just AFK. Just always, in the dungeons, I'm gonna quickly show this to you. This is how I did it anyways. We're gonna go into the dungeon here and we're gonna farm, like, let's just say we're gonna farm some runes, okay? Some rune. So we're gonna go into the runes, open the portal. I still don't know why we have to wait 30 friggin' seconds until we can enter. I think, especially when you're on a private server, they should be doing it the way that we can just press E and just enter. Or everybody can just enter, and in the game we can just press ready and the dungeon starts. Every time we're waiting for 30 seconds, not the end of the world, but it's still kind of annoying. That's what I feel, at least. So we're gonna go into the dungeon here, and I'm gonna quickly show you how I position myself to get some runes in the game. Damn, what's with my hair today? It's like a weird hair day today. I don't have any gel in it. Gel. You can go with easy. I actually got all of the runes in the game. I mean, obviously, if you go for hard or extreme, it's going to be quite significantly harder. But if you use easy, I've used only easy. That's all I've done. I literally go with easy, chill here with the first wave, because you have to stay here unless you go AFK. So I always go into the middle of the map like this, and then I'm going to start my V move. And basically, all we have to do now is go down here, the auto skill, press V. Make sure, this is important, like, keep all of this here enabled, although in the dungeon here it doesn't really matter very much. And there we go. Oh no, I moved it to the wrong side. But even that doesn't really matter. Honestly, even that doesn't really matter. So what you should be doing once you're auto farming, wait, hold on, let me see if I can. I think I have to reposition myself here, yeah. Where's my mouse? Why doesn't my mouse work anymore? Hello? My mouse just said bye. Oh, there we go. What did I do? Was it because I'm zooming in? This is so weird. This sometimes happens. There we go. I got my mouse back. Let's go and turn that V off, because I really missed that thing. I moved my... I don't know. I just really weirdly moved my mouse. So this is really nice, because if you go into the middle like that... I mean, you can see I'm already finishing anyways, but let's go and use the V skill here again. And boom. We're just going to go into sky, and the magic is going to be done on its own. Now, of course, you will have to have somewhat good trade, somewhat a good race, you know, somewhat having a good clan, you know. Just try to go for a legendary clan. You don't have to go for one of these really crazy one, but I think the Voidy, Groidy, Moidy, something, I don't even know how to, you know, what it's called, but I used that for a long time, but now, you know, I have the Espada, which is is the best clan, I think, in the game right now, so that's quite significant. Anyways, this is a perfect way of auto-farming dungeons. You can go AFK, let them, you know, get all of this stuff, but it's important, once you finish these 15 waves, that you're gonna click on auto-start dungeon if you want to go AFK in that, okay? That is really, really difficult, really Can I speak today? I don't know. I slept horribly, okay? I slept very, very bad. My mind is literally melting right now. When I speak, sometimes even speaking is way too hard for me. It's crazy. Anyways, so we got the waves done here right now. And what's gonna happen now, it's gonna ask us, do we want to continue? Do we not gonna continue? We actually got a blood rune here, which is a mythical rune, by just chilling here. So basically, you put an auto replay tick in there, and then we're just gonna start it all over again. And then now you can go AFK, do something. It is important though, after 20 minutes, Roblox is gonna kick you. So maybe set up an auto clicker for every 10 seconds on the chat. That helped me. That's how you can do it. You don't want to come back every 20 minutes or so, unless if you're like on the computer and you're like working on something, that you can do it manually. I would just be chilling here, putting an auto clicker on it. I don't know, clean the flat or play some darts or do something else on the side. And yeah, basically, if you do it smart, you can really you know, what is this word that I'm looking for? Automize, automatize. My English is freaking broken today. It's horrible. You can automate. Is that a word? Is that the word I'm looking for? You can automate the farming process with literally anything in this game. But you do kind of need a few tricks and steps here and there to make it happen. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this mid-game tutorial. There's a lot more that I'm going to cover. It's going to be at least a 5-parter probably, and like some interesting gameplay in between, some boss farming. From now on, if there's a new update, I'm definitely going to make a video on how you can get that working and how you can get the newest items. I don't have the combat yet, the best combat in the game. I was thinking about making a video on how I grind that, but right now I don't want to, okay? Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and have a great one. I would truly, truly appreciate if you give it a like, give it a sub, and also a comment. I do read all of the comments that I get, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.